Hello and welcome back to Irma Sofra. Today I'm going to be showing you the Balkan version of pita bread called Somuni. They are a fluffy and delicious bread perfect for grilled meats or your favorite type of stew. So stay tuned for how I make my fluffy and delicious Somun recipe. It's super easy. So to begin, I have my yeast, my sugar, and my salt in a bowl. I'm going to add 1 cup of flour and mix that until everything is well combined. And I'm going to let that sit for about 10 minutes until we get a nice and foamy texture on top. Once we get that nice texture on top, I'm then going to add my remaining water. So another cup of warm water, lukewarm, think like a baby bottle. And I'm going to add my flour. Now this is a very sticky dough, so don't think that it's going to come together nice and beautifully. We're not looking for that. We're looking for stickiness, so it will stick to your hands. And I'm not doing this in my stand mixer. I'm just doing this by hand because you don't need to knead it that much. You just want to make sure that the flour is well combined into your water, that you get a nice sticky dough. So this is what it's going to look like after you've combined your ingredients together. I'm covering it with some clear wrap and I'm going to let it rise for about 45 minutes. And after 45 minutes, this is what it looks like. It's doubled in size. I'm then going to take it out. Make sure you're using a lot of flour on your surface. I'm going to take out my dough and I'm then just going to gently combine it together. I'm not going to use a lot of flour because I don't want excess flour in this dough. I want it to remain nice and sticky, so you guys can see I'm just working with my fingertips. And then I'm going to separate this. I'm not using a scale, again, because this dough is super sticky. It would just stress me out if I use a scale. It's going to get all over the place. So I just eyeball it, I separate it out, and then what I'm going to do is you'll see how, the motions that I use and how I make the balls. So once I split up my dough into equal parts, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work with the tip of my finger, see how I'm just using my tips, and I'm lightly going to form this into a unified ball. I'm going to flip it over and then I'm going to take those bottom pieces and pinch them together, making sure that there's no air pockets in there. And then I'm just going to place this to the side and I'm going to let this rise for 30 minutes. You have to let this rise for 30 minutes because that is the way we're going to get that nice little air pocket on the inside, that traditional Somun looking piece of bread where it's just that beautiful air bubble on the inside. So by doing this method here, by making sure that we're not adding a lot of pressure to our dough, we're going to get a beautiful Somun. And I forgot to mention, but the dough is really sticky, so make sure you use a lot of flour. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let these hang out for 30 minutes. I cover them with a kitchen towel, and then after 30 minutes, I'm gonna show you how we form them. Okay, so here's the secret to making a successful and beautiful Somun. We're gonna gently work with the dough. So we're gonna gently take those pieces that have been rising for half an hour. I'm gonna put it on a floured surface. I'm gonna flour my hands as well. And I'm not gonna touch the inside. Do not touch the inside of the Somun. It's against the law. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the outsides, going around the Somun, and we're just gonna make this how you'd make pita bread at home. So when you go to a Mediterranean restaurant, you get those beautiful round pita breads. We're just gonna make it into that shape. So just gently going around, not touching that center, and just making and gently stretching out that dough. Again, not touching that center, and then we're going to place it on our pan and we are then going to preheat our oven. So while my oven's preheating at 500, it takes roughly 15 minutes, which is just the perfect amount of time for them to come back and rise again. You guys can see here, they're the size of like a pita bread, so they're not big. They're not oblong, they're a perfect round little shape. You guys can already see that those bubbles are forming. That looks beautiful. And you can kind of see around the dough where my fingertips kind of pressed in. So, I mean, practice does make perfect, but guys, please be sure to be extra careful with this cloudy dough. You want to be extra gentle when working with it. That's how you get a nice and beautiful Somun, that nice little airy pocket. So this is about 7 minutes into our baking process at 500 degrees. please, please, please do not open the oven. You want it to be as hot as possible in there. I think with the oven door closed, it's actually like 530 degrees inside of my oven, and that is a perfect temperature for getting that nice, beautiful light brown crust. So please don't open your oven, just watch them, turn the light on, you can watch them kind of puff up, and they come out absolutely amazing. So you guys will see what they look like after they are done. All right, and this is what they look like right out of the oven. They're super, super hot, so don't touch them. Just cover them with a kitchen towel and let them sit for roughly 5 minutes for them to kind of soften up, and then I'll show you guys what they look like on the inside. So after about 5 minutes, I'm going to cut one open just so you guys can see those beautiful air pockets in there. This is one of them. This is actually my first batch. As you make them, you're going to see you're going to get better and better. My last batch, literally they were like clouds. They were so amazing. The whole center on the inside was empty, which was awesome. So you guys can see here as I'm cutting them open, beautiful air pockets, nice and steamy, very soft, very moist on the inside. Absolutely amazing. I'm sure you guys will love them, and they're so good to put right on top of the grilled meat so they can collect all those oil and that grease. Oh, so good. So this is one of my samuni for my last batch, and I'm actually going to use this as a presentation. I have some guests over. So I take it and I cut it into an X, and then I'm going to open those pieces, and I'm actually going to fill all my grilled meats on the inside, because I'm telling you, you guys can see right there, it's empty. It's just like an air bubble. It's absolutely amazing. And what that's going to do when I add the meats, it's going to collect all that grease and all those oils from the meat, and then you can eat that at the end, and oh my God, my mouth is already watering. It is so good. So there you guys have it. This is my recipe on how to make traditional samuni. I have spent years trying to craft it and perfect it, and it actually has come out finally amazing, and I hope you guys like it. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Add me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next time.